One. Hey, what's going on, everyone? We have another episode of Game Time Excellence where we talk about your mission, mindset, mastery, and maintenance. Today we have another special guest. Man, she's the best at what she does. Today we have Nikki Saunders. She's the head of media for Eric Thomas. I would say he is the number one speaker in the world right now. He's been there for the past like 5-10 years. Like he's been doing it for a long time. I remember listening to his mixtape that he had when I was like a freshman in college. I can't find it. I wish I could find it, but that thing got me motivated. But Nikki, she does some great work on Instagram. She's on Clubhouse. Man, she's just giving knowledge. And if you go to her page and show some appreciation, she will show some love back. And for the people that don't know who you are, that should know who you are, Nikki, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a kid from Queens, born and raised there, and I just like talking about content and personal branding. To be honest with you, like that's my thing. That's my love. I like how, of course, when it comes to making sure the right message is out there so the world can be impacted. But while I was doing that, I figured out like just different formulas that can help anybody to really get that same type of impact, right? With their messaging. It's all about storytelling, but we can get into it. I'm just saying that's a little bit of me. I don't like talking about myself too much. I
Look
mean,
at she's already ready to drop the knowledge
all
bombs on
day,
us
all day.
already. And she does it like she goes live on a regular basis. Like I'm telling you, and you do this interesting deal. Like you do where you're on live
Hmm.
and you record yourself on live.
Yep.
And I thought that was so genius because most of the time you see people post their live from their phone and the
Right.
quality isn't that good. But you found a new way to repurpose the content. So what made you think of that?
And just being different, to be honest with you, it's I see what everybody does, and if I'm trying to be number one and I'm trying to create my own lane, I have to create my own way of content.
Mm,
And so what I first did before was literally take like my DSLR camera and just do kind of more behind the scenes, but then I found a software that will allow me to hook up my DSLR camera and still show kind of like the live stream of what I'm doing. And
mm,
so it's more of a in feed, behind the scenes kind of
mm.
vibe.
Right, right.
And it just worked out, and people like appreciated because I never posted the full live on IG or anything like that. So it
Mm,
was their way to see, oh, these lives are great. And she gives me great quality and great audio because,
right.
with lives, that's not always the case.
Yeah. No, not at
So
all.
it's just about giving a better experience for the user.
And I love that you said that. It's because many times we think about it from our point of view, but
Yep.
it's not about us. It's about the who we're serving. And so
All day, all day. And
yeah.
a lot of people forget about that because they think it's their brand, which technically it is, but our brand is never for us. Our brand
Mm,
is always for others. And so we have to kind of like remind ourselves, whether it's like a posting note or
mm-hmm.
something, we have to remember that we're not doing this for us. We may have goals kind of like monetizing it and actually replacing some of our financial stuff
Right.
because of our brand. But in all honesty, the only way we can do that is by the people. And
Mm,
so if we can always remember our content, our message, our products, our services for them, we're good.
right, right, right. And that's dope. So, how did you get to this place? Because you said you're from Queens.
Yep.
You don't like to talk. You don't like to talk about yourself too much.
Nah.
But we got to get into it.
I got you. I got
Yeah.
you.
So
So really it was I didn't even know I was going to get into this place until it kind of came into my lap. Praise God for that, right? So prior to meeting E, I was a whole IT, right? I was working at a bank at the time, coming out of the Navy, and I joined his online program and was just staying active with it. I was there at all his events, and just adding anything that I can, because from my military background, you kind of just get in where you fit in. Like you kind of master everything so you can stand out.
Right.
So that's exactly what I did. It didn't matter if it was like being the door check person, to bringing people to their seats, to recording stuff on my phone. It didn't matter. And then they were like, yo, do you like social media? I was like, yeah, what are you talking about? Right. They're like, yo, we have this gap, can you do it? I said, of course. Now, mind you, I was very addicted to social media at the time. Not saying that I'm not anymore, but it was a pure addiction with not making any kind of money. All right. Turn your addictions to a bag. That's all I will say. There we go. Right. Yep. So when I took on his platform, it was like 300K, right? 300K followers. And I just started messing with different ways to do videos. I love doing like different mashup videos where you take his voice and you put like just random videos that goes along with his words. I was really good at that. And then it started blowing up because I took his account and treated it like a fan and not necessarily a product. I was outside. I always, even when I got on board with the team and everything like that, I always treated it like I'm in the lens of a fan. So what do I want to see? What message do I need to hear? All that great stuff. And for anybody who's trying to grow their social media, you have to step outside of yourself as the brand sometimes, and remember that you have to look at it from a lens of a fan or a follower, because you have to move in what they want, like we spoke earlier.
Right.
So the second I did that, that grew to over 1 million verified. We're almost at 2 mil now. So yeah, it was literally that something that was like, boop, you want to try? I said, sure. And I just started mastering the art of storytelling, mastering the different strategies, what platforms make sense for his message and things like that.
Right. Okay. So we need to like rewind to like 2 steps, because you said something that was very important, but for the solopreneurs that are trying to build a brand, you said something that was very key, that you need to take a step away and see it from a fan's perspective, right? But I think that is one of the hardest things to do for someone that is a solopreneur, because that's like their baby. Like they don't want to see it from any perspective, and it's kind of like everything's too close to them, so they need to hire someone, but maybe they don't have the funds to hire someone. So what is a strategy that someone can do to get that helicopter view that they need to see it from a fan's perspective? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So to be honest with you, you have to ask certain kind of questions. You have to, I just posted about this today. Like when you are creating your content, one of the things is, would you watch it? Would you share it? Is this something that will make you stop scrolling? Right? If not, break down those things that would make you do each of those things. So what normally makes you view something? Because from a beginner standpoint, from a solopreneur kind of standpoint, we have to remember 9 out of 10 times we're pretty much talking to our old self, or somewhat of a similar audience based off our background or our experiences and skills, right? So we would have to take it like, all right, well, if if this was me, like just a regular smegular person, not person in the brand, what would make me view a video? What would make me stop and read a quote or read a carousel? What would make me listen to a podcast? You have to ask these questions, break it down, write it down in your, your note app or a notebook or something like that. And these should be like little steps that when you create your content, does it meet these checklists? A lot of people just create to create, and you don't have a necessarily checklist of creating. Right. So you may have one of the three situations, but all of those mean something. You have to get somebody to stop. You have to get somebody to look at it. You have to get somebody to share it, right? Comment on it, engage with it in some way, shape, or form. Right. And if you don't know what makes you do that, you don't know your own triggers, it's going to be very hard for you to figure out other people's triggers when it comes to content.
A lot of knowledge right there. A lot of knowledge. Like I'm telling you, a lot of times, I try to bring people on that will add a lot of value. But, just to tell a little secret, I try to bring people on that I can go back and watch so I can take notes for myself.
Hey, that's smart. That's smart. I ain't mad at that. I do the same thing with my podcast. I do, like, I'll go over people that I can learn from, even though I'm teaching it. Like, I go back and I'm like, okay, what did this person do? All right, let me see how I could apply that. Yeah, no, that's smart. I ain't mad at that.
See, there we go. So we're on the same page right now.
Absolutely.
And so the biggest thing that I took from that is as asking the right questions. So asking yourself the right questions. And Dan, that's something that, I need to think about myself, is like, what would make me stop? And now I'm thinking about it right now. So entertaining, things that are entertaining kind of make me stop, things that have some type of comedy involved. But what if, you're just not funny? You know what I mean? Like, everyone's not funny. So,
right.
What do you do in that situation?
But there's still a way of be entertaining without just being funny.
Okay.
Right. And we also have to remember that sometimes showing our true self, the little things may be super silly to somebody else, and they may appreciate it, right? They may appreciate your sense of humor, even though you may not think you have one. You kind of do to somebody else, right? So it's not necessarily being intentional with being entertaining if that's what you like. It's really being who you really are. Like, really staying within your natural self, right? And so if you think you're not entertaining, right, and you're creating this content, there still has to be other checks that you have of why you watch something, because not everything you watch is entertaining. Definitely. Right? We're normally on social media for three reasons: it's entertainment, education, motivation. Right? So does your content somewhat hit any of those other things? Right? Because when you go through your timeline, it'll show you like one of the three or all three of them in some way, shape, or form. You can combine it. It could be like edutainment, like some people say, where you have education and entertainment combined, right? But in all sense, it's a matter of how can I relay my message in my own natural way? Because in my own natural way, that's how I receive information anyways. So that's one of those things that if we are overthinking those questions, it could stop us, because we're like, I wouldn't watch this. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. And you'll actually be a little bit too hard on yourself. But look at what I always do is look at social media. There's some content that is trash right now on your timeline. And you have to look at that compared to what you made. And you're like, all right, maybe I am a little hard on myself. Yeah, because that's trash. That's I don't even know how that got the way it did. This is
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I definitely agree with that right there. And it's definitely easy just to be overcritical of ourselves uh, on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Just, oh man, look here, listen to my voice, or look at the way I'm smiling, or
Mhm.
look at that picture being off just, just a little bit. So taking the pressure off, I love that. And so, I know you have. Uh, Everyone has been through something. I know you have been through some things in your life, and how have you been able to keep a strong mindset during tough times?
I think for me, I pride myself off of keeping things separate,
Mm,
right? I'm not big on if something bad happens, just putting it all in a pot and now everything is ruined,
mm,
right?
mhm,
So, like if I have a issue with something that I do with my work, is never going to combine with my personal life and vice versa, right?
right.
So, for me, it's a matter of keeping it separate and what are my checkpoints,
Hmm.
right? So what I mean by that is like if I get too mad, right? What is the environment that I'm in?
Mm,
How do I get myself out of it? Like I'm big on assessing, like
hmm.
I'm big on self-assessing.
Hmm.
And I have this page that literally tells me things to do to keep me motivated,
Hmm.
things to do to keep me in my strengths and my
Hmm.
natural, you know. And so I have to go over that every day, regardless if I go up or down, to
Hmm.
make sure I stay in that mode. Because like I said, I isolate things,
Right,
so
right.
I have to attack it with always looking at where am I at in this page? Am I anywhere near it?
Mm-hmm.
If not, what is around me that is not allowing me to stay motivated? What is that is allowing me not to stay in my natural and I'm more in my adaptive, very defensive ways,
Mm,
right? So it, every day I read every day I put kind of this routine of like what do I do good, what needs work,
mm,
speaking things into existence to kind of start it off right.
mm-hmm.
And anything that happens that may piss me off, I have a short temper, so I already know this, right?
Right, right.
Once again, self-assessing.
Yeah.
I have a short temper, so I know that it's only going to last for a little bit. The second I feel it, I'm pretty much grabbing my phone and
Mm-hmm.
like looking through that page of okay,
Mm.
what's
So
happening.
you legit have a page?
Yeah, no, legit.
Okay, okay.
I legit have that. That's not
Uh-huh.
like everybody think of the things that keep you
Right, right.
no, I legit take like assessments that tell me
Mm,
these are your ups, these are your downs. This is if you are not in this vibe, if you're
mhm.
not in this environment, expect to have a really bad day,
Right, right,
right?
right.
And so for me, it doesn't matter what happens. I could always stop and look at that and I'll be good. And then of course, prayer. You know what I mean?
Right, right. No, 100%, 100%. And that's dope that you do that. I mean, that's one of the things that I have done for myself. So as soon as I feel stressed or anxious or upset, I go for a walk,
Right.
and I go through that assessment for myself. Okay, why am I upset? What's the reason? I just go through that entire list for myself. I do need to make a page. I like that idea, so I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
make a page
So
for myself.
with Eric Thomas, like he's big on the flight assessment, right? And
Hmm.
you've probably heard me speak about it a little bit, and as well
Hmm.
as E, right? And with that assessment, it breaks it down. Like this is what keeps you motivated. This is how people supposed to communicate with you. This is how you this is your strengths. These are your limitations, things
Hmm.
like that. And so every single day I go when I say what what do I do good and what
Mhm.
needs work, it goes based off the assessment. I don't go to left to right from it. I
Right,
go
right.
straight from that to guide me. And I've been doing this for like 3 years, and
Right.
each year I grow from it.
So how'd you get introduced to that assessment?
E.
E?
So what happened was there was this guy who he passed away about 2 years ago, rest in peace, Chris. He introduced it, and he brought it into it like animals. So it was like you had a gorilla, you had a flamingo, a chameleon, and turtle, right? But no one wanted to be associated with a gorilla. I mean, I'm not big and ugly, and that's not me, right? So he made it into more of kind of like flight assessment, where it was like pilot, flight attendant, grounds crew, and air traffic control, right? So like the pilot clearly directs the way. So meaning people who are super direct, who like to problem solve and everything like that, right? Flight attendants, the people, like they're the life of the party, they're interactive and everything like that. Grounds crew are more of the behind the scenes supportive role, wants to help everybody kind of vibe. And then the air traffic controller is more of the systems persons, telling you where to go, but still behind the scenes. And then I break it down into introvert, extrovert.
Yeah.
So between, if when you break that down and you understand where you are with that, like I'm a pilot and flight attendant, so I'm very direct, but I love talking to people. Like I could talk to people all day if I wanted to, but I push you enough to get the results, right? And if I get too much into the systems, I'm no good. Like I can't maintain a system. So, but I could create it. So it's things like that. Like I said, I'm big on self-aware, and that's why I love social media so much, because it changes so much and it keeps me in my people vibe, because it's the social part.
Right. No, that's dope, and it's so important. I'm actually, so I just made I got on, today is like my content creation day. So I went on Canva, and I'm making all these like carousels, and just like one post or one picture post or whatever. And that one of them is about that. So I'm mainly focused on student athletes, and so one of the posts is for student athletes doing the work of learning who you are outside the game, because when the game leaves you, you don't want your identity to leave with the game. And so that's dope that you're doing that. It's like the self-aware piece that most people don't do. I actually did a TED talk on like baggage, and like most of the time people have so much baggage because they don't take time to learn about themselves and let go of some of that trauma.
All facts. And once I mean, it goes with that typical, like, once you're aware of something, it's easier to solve it. It's easy to get rid of that habit or whatever it is, like, but you have to be aware of it first and foremost. And if you're not, it's like you're moving blindly, like you don't know your triggers.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. And so we've been talking about your mission and your mindset, but one thing that I want to hit on, and it kind of goes into mastery, but is this whole Clubhouse thing. What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on Clubhouse?
It's changed. My thoughts on it has changed lately. So in the beginning, brand new space, not so many people on it. Not so I'm going to go with the typical cliche thing that marketers kill everything, right? So once marketers started to get on, you started seeing a whole bunch of the how to become a millionaire kind of rooms and things like that, and the real clicky kind of stuff. Like you'll see the same people on stage, and it was just, so it's changed a lot. But from a positive standpoint, I think it allows anybody to create a room and have an audience for your topic, right? And that's not always so easy on any other social media platform. If you were to post a video right now, you start over your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, and you post something right now, is no guarantee that somebody will watch it. Right? You could do certain hashtags and all that great stuff, and that could possibly increase it. But with Clubhouse, you start a room, you have a good title, right? People are going to come in and be wondering what it is. And depending on how you speak about it, they could stay or they could go. Right. You could be very lucky and it, get somebody who has a huge following and it brings like thousands of people into the room. Right. So it, for right now, it is the easiest way to get an audience as well as bring focus to whether it is your Instagram or your Twitter, right? Because those are the social media platforms that is connected to. So if I create a room and you jump in real quick, don't know me for nothing, and I say something dope, you're like, okay, who is this person? Boom, you're checking my social media. Now, of course, I'm hoping everybody creates a body of work, enough content that when somebody checks your Instagram or your Twitter, they think if they should stay or go, and 9 out of 10 times they'll stay, right? Based off your content. And then it's just like a big funnel. They meet you there, and then they could possibly buy or listen or watch anything else you want them to do once they get off Clubhouse into your social media platforms that you have a more control of. So I like Clubhouse for that reason. And of course, there's still a lot of opportunities there. There's still people who, like, we would never be able to talk to on any other social media platform. But you have the possibility of getting on stage with a Dame Dash, with a Steve Stout, with Swiss Beats and things like that. And that's the people that make me excited. But and then you could learn everything from marketing to crypto to speaking, how to better your speaking and things like that. There's just a great amount of content on Clubhouse that, if used right, is a great social media app.
So you would recommend people to get on Clubhouse?
Yeah, still regardless, absolutely. Because I'm still learning stuff, even though I may not be as active as I was on the stages before. Now with this new wave, and there's going to be 5 more new waves, like Android is going to be able to come and play, and I think in May, right? In a month or two, right? So that's going to bring in a whole new amount of people. They enabled monetization, so that brought back some of the old people to come back and start being active again in Clubhouse, right? So you're looking at it from a standpoint of, like, there's still a lot of information, a lot of opportunity in Clubhouse until one of the big boys take it over.
Okay. That makes a ton of sense. And, we thought we were going to make it through with 69%, but that definitely did not happen. And so
too much fire.
Too much fire. Now she's outdoing me, ladies and gentlemen. Now she's outdoing me with the camera right now.
I apologize. Not really.
But I don't want to take up too much of your time. How much more time do you have to
I got like 10, 15 more minutes. You're good.
Okay. And so with Clubhouse, my next question, just for, because I know Clubhouse is so new for a lot of people, and I see every time I get on, and I'm like, oh, you have this friend that's joining now. You have this friend that's joining now.
Yeah.
So someone that is just starting their Clubhouse, would you recommend starting a room and being consistent with it, or just jumping into different rooms on a regular basis, or a little bit of everything?
I say a little bit of everything. For anybody who's like super brand new, I would say start with the smaller rooms, right? Start, and the reason why I say start with the smaller rooms, whether it's like 20, 40 people, 50, maybe the top, maybe 100, is because these are all probably new people or people still getting their feet wet and everything like that. And you can grow relationships and talk to them more than you can have a chance to talk to those 1,000, 2,000 people room.
Right.
So you're creating relationships on a smaller scale. So when they're creating rooms, they'll ping you in, you'll get to be on these stages, and people will get to see you a little bit more, and then vice versa. You get active, you bring in the people that, you know, have added value in your life based off what you're talking about, right? And that's how people grow together. Like, depending on when people joined and started really to get active, those people normally stick together, right?
Yeah,
They're open to other people, but when it's time for them to start a room, they normally go with who they know. Right. So it I would definitely say do a little bit of both, create those connections, jump into the big rooms too, just so you can see how it is. And somebody may know you and bring you up on the stage. Like it happens to me, and it's like the most random topics. Like they had this Dogecoin one today, and they try to bring me up. I'm like, I don't talk about crypto, and
that thing was doing numbers today, though. It was doing woo.
Listen.
And I was that person, you know, sitting at home while looking at Snapchat while all my boys in Las Vegas. That's what I was.
Really
Hurt.
Listen, at the end of the day, I still don't think it's too late for anything.
No, definitely.
May not be as lucrative, but it's never too late to at least figure out certain things about that. But that's another whole topic.
Yeah, we're shifting gears right
there.
Yeah. So you know, mastering your skills. You know what I mean? You said you're a whole IT, and then you switched to this right here. Like, so how are you continuing to, you know, sharpen your skills?
I'm big on learning something every day. Right. And literally I have a whole note joint of everything that I've learned, period. In my routine, it's either I listen to a podcast or an ebook or audiobook or whatever every single day. I'm still on what I call now Uncle YouTube. I'm still on Uncle YouTube. I'm reading the blogs. I'm looking at other accounts and seeing what the trends are. I'm really big on staying on top of things, but as well as seeing what works for my brand, for Eric Thomas brand, because not everything that's trending is going to work for me.
Right.
100%. So it's a matter of taking something from here, taking something from here, putting it in a pot, trying it out, seeing if the people like it. If they don't, that's cool. But it makes me understand my own success formula instead of copying somebody else's success formula. So
that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. So every day it's something. Even I made sure there's this I'm reading this book this time, and I'm gathering my own community to read it with me, making sure that people still understand that I'm still a student of the game, and I want to bring certain individuals with me to learn it so we could do this together. Right. I'm always big about community and never feeling as if I am above it all. I want to always come back and be like, yo, I'm reading this 22 immutable laws of branding. What up?
Right.
You in? Let's go to. I'm doing I'm putting them on Zoom. I'm doing the audio for them. We're breaking it all the way down every single week.
That's dope right there. That's really
So,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, being a student of the game. That's what you got to do, though. Like, if you want to be great at something and you want to stay great at something, you have to be a student of the game.
Yeah, things change too much. Like, if you and this is another reason why, for me, like, I was heavy on Clubhouse, and then I left a little bit because I realized that I can't be too much in a teaching mode only.
Okay.
Right. That means too much stuff is going out, and not that's wasting my time for it coming in. Right. So I had to bring a balance to it. Like, okay, I'll come in, I'll spit some bars here, but then at the end of the day, I got to finish this chapter.
Right. Yeah.
I got to finish this framework real quick. Yeah. And so I had to, it's all about balance. I'm not big on consuming more than I'm producing.
I like that. Have you ever read Made to Stick?
No. Is that good?
Yeah, it's a pretty dope book. Somewhere back there. I'm not about to get up in.
You're gonna make me write that. Hold up. I'm gonna write that down. Made to Stick.
Yeah, it's a really good book.
Who's it from? Do you know? Oh, here we go.
So it's an orange cover.
Yep. Chip Health and Dan Health.
Yeah. So they study like all of the brands and things that like stuck out, and they kind of like did a conclusion of like why they did and why they didn't and things like that. I thought it was
listen, hello, buying it. Goodbye. You ain't gonna tell me twice.
That's action right there. See, hey, ladies and gentlemen, see, I have a ton. What you just did right there, I'm gonna just clip this right here and show it to all my athletes, because I tell them something, or someone else comes on the call and they tell them something, and 2 weeks later, I'm like, hey man, did you act on that? No. I'm like, where's your urgency? Like, you gotta have some type of urgency to get better, to grow and be intentional with your life.
Listen, I'm big on different people's perspective on what I do. So if you said, hey, I like it, you were even looking for it, that means, you know what, let me grab that up. I have the choice of listening to it, liking it, continuing it, or not. This ain't my thing, and not, but it's a new resource that I can go back onto. So I got it. It's in the library right now. I said, hit listen. Yeah. I'm good.
You're good to go right there.
Yeah.
And see that right there. So you talked about not consuming more than you're producing, right?
Yeah.
And you're learning. You're the head of media for Eric Thomas. You're doing your own brand. You have personal things you have going on. How do you take care of yourself? I think that's something that gets thrown to the wayside because we're so focused on accomplishing goals or being a family person, whatever it may be. But how do you take care of yourself emotionally, spiritually, physically, all that?
So I make sure there's a time slot for me. So though I have a very active workload and everything like that between my brand and e-brand and all the stuff that we have, I don't get on my computer until probably 12 p.m. Like, so the whole morning, there's nothing that important that would make me stop from that. Like, whether I'm praying in the morning, whether I'm going through my little routine, whether I'm learning something, that is my time. Especially now that it's starting to get real nice out, I'm taking my 3 to 4 mile walk. I have my audio book in. I'm typing things out. I'm responding to people. All that. That's my time. And before, I wasn't necessarily finding my time. I was making it too much about everybody else. And that's when I realized I was getting drained way too quickly.
Right.
So once I started just blocking off that time for me. And that could be different for anybody, but I do strongly suggest that you block off time every single day.
Okay.
Right.
I like that. Yeah.
Because this will allow you for fitness. This will allow you to learn something new. This will allow you to grow your relationships and things like that. You have to put yourself as a priority.
I like how you worded that to you. One, make yourself a priority, but I have a time slot for me. Like that's it right there.
Yeah.
And the not till 12 thing. Many times, most people, like, as soon as they wake up, they check their emails, they're on Instagram, they're doing something else besides making themselves a priority. So that's big. So I have, two questions for you, and then one's a philosophical question that I love asking everyone.
Okay.
What do you think the meaning of life is?
Oh, that's so deep.
We gotta
yeah,
get deep.
that's so deep. Okay, so for me, right, and I don't want to speak on in general, but for me, it would have to be um the the happiness within and without. So meaning, like, whatever you're doing, it has to make you happy. Like, life period should not be only the downfalls, right? That's part of it, but like, it has to be the happiness that you feel within. And when I said in out as well, is, the impact that you do for others. Right.
Like that, yeah.
It you can't be selfish. Right. So there's something that you do, whether it's every day, every month, or something that still impacts other people, which brings in a whole cycle of whether good stuff or bad stuff, Yeah. So I'm big on life is happiness, whether it's with inside you or the impact that you do for others.
Okay. I like that. See, you see, hey, that's what you call. She got knocked back a little bit. She was like, this is deep. And then she gathered her
Because I'm
steps
not
in.
used to that. I'm not used to deep questions. I'll be like, hold on, right? But I never get stumped. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I'll never get stumped.
Hey, she came back strong right there. Okay, so a little light question: if you had a superpower, what would your superpower be?
Man, I would fly. I ain't gonna hold you. I would fly. Yeah. Why? Because I'm impatient and I want to get to places when I want to get to places. Right. And that means I go up and go there. I'm good. Like, I do not want to wait. Like, I don't want, like, just, okay, I want to go over here. Shoot, right? I don't want to check for gas. Yeah, I don't want to do none of that. Like, I go outside, pew, come right back. I'm good. I got my groceries. I'm out here. I wouldn't even do the flying for like dumb stuff. I would really just do my regular stuff. Like, okay, I got to go to Walgreens. Cool. Let me go. Like, I'm.
So you're not flying to like Jamaica or Europe. You're talking about just grocery stores.
Yeah, no, where I need to go. I'm impatient. I'm impatient. Now, if it's a vacation, like if we're going, no, I'm gonna get on a plane. I don't need to fly there. That's work. Hello, that's work now. That's not. You go on a plane to chill, unless it's work, unless you're going for work. You getting on a plane to chill for a little, to sleep. I sleep every single plane ride. There's no life into me. That thing, I'm sleep before the doors are closed.
I don't know how you do it. My neck hurts like when I wake up. I don't know how you do it.
No, well, but I'm small. I could get to curl up real quick. Boom, give me a window seat. I don't need first class, nothing. Give me coach with a window seat.
Good to go.
I'm straight because I'm not leaning on nobody. I'm not trying. I'm not in the middle. I got all this space. I got little legs. I'm out here.
Good to go. That's funny. Okay, now I'm hitting you with one more deep one. One more deep one.
Go ahead.
Because I'm very big on this. So the reason why I love sharing, context behind some of these questions, and the reason why I'm asking this question right here is because I lost my mom. Um, what's 2021 now? So 5 years ago. Wow, it's been a long time now. So I lost my mom to cancer 5 years ago, and when she passed away, every time I see someone pass away, it makes me think of that. Like, so I was a huge. My dad's from Brooklyn, so
Okay.
I grew up on DMX and
Facts.
Biggie and all
Facts.
them, and so DMX passed away, and I thought about
Yes.
it again for myself, like, how do I want to be remembered when it's all said and done? Like when I die, like what do I want people saying about me at my funeral? And so my question to you is, when it's all said and done, you lived your life, you
Yep.
accomplished what you accomplished.
Yep.
How do you want to be remembered?
Actually, somewhat of what DMX legacy is. And so what I mean by that is Swiss Beats literally said that I'm in position because of DMX.
Mm.
And so for me, I would love when I pass for people to say, yo, I'm in position because of Nikki.
Mm.
Like I'm in a way better place. I'm financially better. My legacy is secured because of what Nikki has done. That
Right.
for me, I'm good.
Right.
Like everything else doesn't necessarily matter because that means my content, my lessons, the things that I talk about is going to last because of what they're doing. So if we look at a DMX, we never have to worry about not hearing about DMX as long as Swiss is there.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Another one who I was very big on was Big Pun. Right. Yeah. And we will forever hear his name as long as Fat Joe is here.
Right.
Same thing with Biggie and Diddy. So for me, it's putting people in position for their own legacy. That is what I want.
I love that right there. Dang, I think that's man. Normally, I don't think there's any better way to end it right there, because normally I end it with can you share 3 tips that would help someone get better? But I mean, I think
that was perfect.
That's perfect right there. You know what I mean? So man, Nikki, like you came on, let us know a little bit about yourself, drop some gems. In the beginning, my camera was looking just as good, and now, I'm not looking too good right now. But you came on. I really appreciate you, jumping on this and taking some time out of your day. I know you live on the East Coast, and
yep.
I don't know what time it is right now, but
it is 9:47.
Yeah, so it's late over there. So I really appreciate you, and I definitely, you impacted me with this conversation. So I truly appreciate it. And I'm not just saying that, how people like you in the podcast, you guys say some good stuff.
Yeah. This is the best podcast.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
you said something that I'm gonna apply right now.
Right, yeah. No, but like,
shout out to everybody who does do that on their podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So no shot. We're not throwing any shots right now. But
I mean, if it applies to you.
See, I didn't say that. So don't come at me.
It applies to you. I'm very truthful. People know that about me.
I love it. But no, I'm being genuine right now. Like, you definitely, that last statement was there, like, very impactful for me, because I'm just thinking about myself and when I die, and will I have anyone that says that as I'm going through my life right now, and that makes you like walk with like a certain level of purpose, So that's big right there. But where can people find you on your platforms, and what's the best way to just get in contact with you? What if they if they had any questions?
Absolutely. So everybody can find me. I'm super active on Instagram. So at this is Nikki's Nicky with an S at the end. Nikki and Moose podcast. NikkiandMoose.com. That's my whole thing. The same way, like how I learned that part with Swiss Beats based off my podcast. We were going over DMX, and he did that whole message, that last message, pretty much announcing how he felt. And I was like, oh, that right there. So Nikki and Moose podcast. Yeah, find me there. I'm there.
Okay. And definitely, after you guys listen to this, share it with a friend. If you guys don't like it, still share it with a friend because they might like it.
I like that.
That's facts right there. So, and just go show some appreciation. Like don't ask for anything. Just show some appreciation, man, because she's good people. On live on a regular basis, always, serving. Always serving. So,
and listen, leave a review for this episode right here. Okay, leave a review. This show only lives on based off the reviews. So go leave a review. Say how we did. Go to the past episodes. Say how those episodes were. Leave a review.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I really appreciate that because I don't ever say that right there. So
I know, it's all right.
Leave a review. So definitely. So Nikki, I appreciate you. Hope you have a great rest of your night, and I probably will hop off of this and get on your live. But this is another episode of Game Time Excellence, where we talk about your mission, mindset, mastery, and maintenance. Remember, do not trade what you want most for what you want in the moment. Do not trade what you want most for what you want in the moment. Have a blessed night.
Trials transform my mind. Now in a lot of cases I see pain as a pleasantry. Tender scenes watching fake love turn real hate. These days I just pray, cause human ears are born biased anyway. I won fights cause the battles I lost mentally. Evil voices in my head pitching ideas with consistency. Life and death in the tongue, so I bite my bullet.